Good morning, and welcome to your AIDailyPress morning podcast for March 6, 2026. I'm your host, Walter. We're tracking several developments in the escalating conflict between Iran and the U.S.-Israel coalition. Firstly, the situation remains volatile with the potential for further escalation. The UK has deployed additional Typhoon jets and Wildcat helicopters to Cyprus in response to drone attacks on British bases in the region. In a significant development, the United States is seeking Ukraine's expertise in defending against Iranian drone attacks. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has announced that his country is ready to provide concrete steps to help Gulf nations defend themselves against Iranian strikes. Ukraine has developed valuable expertise in countering Russian-made Iranian drones, known as Shahads, and the U.S. is now looking to tap into this knowledge. As the conflict continues to unfold, it's clear that international cooperation will be crucial in addressing these shared security challenges. The UK is also exploring ways to support Qatar in its defense against Iranian drone attacks, while Saudi Arabia has been in talks with Ukraine about potential cooperation. We'll continue to monitor developments in the region and provide updates as more information becomes available. Our thoughts are with those affected by the ongoing conflict, and we hope for a swift and peaceful resolution to the crisis. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
Walter, and Nanshal and know it's right now. We're coming to you live with a special report on the escalating conflict in Lebanon. Israeli forces and Hezbollah militants are engaged in intense fighting, resulting in significant damage to infrastructure, loss of life, and a growing humanitarian crisis. According to reports from the ground, Israeli airstrikes have targeted several locations in Beirut, including residential areas, causing widespread destruction and civilian casualties. The Lebanese Health Ministry has confirmed at least 3 fatalities, with many more injured. Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah has vowed to continue resistance against Israel, while Israeli officials have reiterated their commitment to eliminating the threat posed by Hezbollah. The international community is increasingly concerned about the escalating violence, with French President Emmanuel Macron calling for an immediate cessation of hostilities. The Lebanese government is facing mounting pressure to assert control over the crisis, and Prime Minister Nawaf Salam has condemned Hezbollah's actions as irresponsible. However, it remains unclear whether the government will be able to effectively contain the violence. In related news, reports are emerging of displaced civilians fleeing affected areas, with many seeking shelter in nearby cities. Humanitarian organizations are scrambling to respond to the growing crisis, with aid deliveries and emergency assistance underway. We'll continue to bring you updates on this developing story as more information becomes available. In other news, we're following the latest developments on the replacement of Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem with Senator Markwayne Mullin of Oklahoma, and the potential implications for the department's enforcement agenda and operational discipline. And finally, we're keeping a close eye on the situation in the Middle East, where Iranian Kurdish leaders are calling on the international community to back their efforts against Iran. The potential consequences of Kurdish involvement in the conflict are far-reaching, with significant implications for the regional balance of power. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. In a nutshell, the ongoing conflict in West Asia has disrupted supply chains, leading to a surge in aluminium prices and a boost to metal stocks. We've seen significant gains for companies like Hindalco, Nalco, and Tata Steel. However, we advise investors to approach this trend with caution, as markets can be notoriously volatile during times of uncertainty. In a related development, the U.S. Treasury has issued a 30-day waiver allowing India to purchase Russian oil currently stranded at sea. This move aims to alleviate pressure on the global energy supply and provide temporary relief to India's oil refineries. While this decision has raised questions about the effectiveness of sanctions on Russia, it highlights the complexities of navigating the global energy landscape. As we navigate these choppy waters, one thing is clear: the global oil market will remain a critical factor in shaping international relations, economic growth, and geopolitical stability. We'll continue to monitor developments and provide you with timely insights to help you stay informed. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. I'm your anchor, Howard. We've got a packed edition for you today, with the latest on college basketball, sports betting, and expert analysis. First off, we're mourning the loss of Bob Harlan, a legendary figure in the NFL community. Our thoughts are with his family and loved ones during this difficult time. In college basketball news, the Howard Bison are dominating the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, leading the pack in both men's and women's basketball. With a strong regular season performance, they're poised to make a deep run in the conference tournament. We're also looking ahead to tonight's crucial Big Ten matchup between the Michigan Wolverines and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Our expert analysts have crunched the numbers, and the consensus is that this game will be a close one, with Iowa projected to keep it within 5 points. And finally, in business news, DraftKings Sportsbook has announced a new promo code, offering $150 in bonus bets to new users who place a $5 bet on any game. This is a great opportunity for sports fans to get in on the action and potentially win big. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Currell.
Thank you, Howard. We have 3 important stories to cover this morning. Firstly, in international news, we're following a developing story about an oil spill in Mexico's Veracruz state. The coastal town of Xicacal has been severely affected, with its once pristine shores now marred by a thick, black residue. The local community is banding together to clean up the beaches and restore their livelihoods, which have been threatened by the disaster. In national news, President Donald Trump recently met with conservative Christian leaders to discuss social media bias and religious freedom. The meeting comes as a recent survey found that a majority of Americans believe social media companies are biased against conservative viewpoints. This issue is likely to continue to shape the national debate, especially with the 2024 presidential election on the horizon. Lastly, in global news, we're seeing significant changes within the Anglican Communion. The Church of England has announced plans to allow blessings for same-sex couples while still maintaining its traditional teachings on marriage. This move is expected to have far-reaching implications for the global church and its relationships with other denominations. These are just a few of the stories we're following today. We'll be diving deeper into each of these topics throughout the day, so now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. First up, let's talk about Harry Styles' upcoming concert in Manchester. The trailer just dropped, and honey, it looks amazing. He'll be performing his new material live for the first time, and I am excited. Trust me on this one, folks. This concert is going to be something special. Next, we've got some literary news that's got everyone buzzing. Sarah J. Maas, the genius behind the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, just announced not 1, but 2 new books are coming our way. And let me tell you, fans are losing their minds. The 6th book drops in October, followed by the 7th in January. It's going to be a wild ride, darlings. And finally, we can't forget about fashion. I mean, have you seen those neon trends that are all the rage this season? What's up with that? Anyway, moving on. We also touched base on Britney Spears' latest endeavors and, just kidding folks, we didn't have time for that today. But seriously, we did discuss Harry Styles' interesting interview with Runner's World, where he talked about marathon running with Haruki Murakami. Because, why not? Stay fabulous, and we'll catch you in the next episode of the AIDailyPress Morning Podcast. Oh, grow up! Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David Attenacher.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we discussed the controversy surrounding Germany's wolf population management, where a proposal to cull wolves has sparked debate among conservationists and farmers. This story underscores the challenges of balancing human interests with wildlife conservation. Secondly, we reported on Portugal's significant fine for failing to comply with EU environmental regulations, specifically regarding the designation of special areas of conservation. This case emphasizes the importance of adhering to environmental laws and the role of legal mechanisms in protecting our natural heritage. Lastly, we shared the remarkable discovery of two marsupial species, previously thought to be extinct, found alive on the island of New Guinea. The ring-tailed glider and pygmy long-fingered possum were rediscovered with the help of local indigenous communities, highlighting the significance of collaborative conservation efforts. These stories remind us of the delicate balance between human activities and the natural world. As we move forward, it's essential to prioritize conservation, protect our planet's biodiversity, and recognize the intrinsic value of preserving ecosystems for future generations. We'll continue to follow these stories and bring you updates as more information becomes available. And that completes our morning podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until this evening, I'm David Atenager for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.